In a time when electronic crime occurs at the speed of light and strikes every several seconds, targeting a vast number of victims of prey. In that world, there are guardians relentlessly in battle to stop it. That time is now.
Kimmy, I hope you're not on that computer. You know the rules.
I'm just finishing my homework, Mom.
Her first cheerleading uniform, a special time, and Kimmy didn't hesitate to post it online for her friends.
A lot of our youth are starting to use technology for a variety of sources. Everything from socializing with their friends to they're looking at their homework online. A lot of schools, in public schools in Kentucky, are actually incorporating technology as a part of their homework. So exposure to technology has grown dramatically over the years for our youth. Along with that, we've also unfortunately have to recognize that the technology has also allowed predators more access to our youth.
Hidden away in a nearby town, an unsavory stranger trolling the internet quickly deduced that this middle school girl would be about 13. He selected an altered profile and photo from the stolen collection, a 14-year-old basketball and track star. He posted it to Timmy's account with congratulations. Soon, he would build a new relationship, a scheme developed over 15 years by this 52-year-old predator.
Targeting children is a real concern that we have. It's a real threat, and it spans everything from a cell phone call, a text message, a message sent on an app, on a cell phone, an email, a friend request on Facebook from somebody that they don't know.
The biggest disadvantage of technology is the capability of sexual predators to make contact with our youth, and the trust that our youth have that everything's going to be safe as long as they're on the internet in their own house, when the reality is that it can be so much more dangerous once they just do not realize the danger of who they're talking with, and that person could come find them.
At the touch of a finger, we can be on a social networking site, in a chat room, looking up sports scores. But this is great technology, which is very helpful, but this is also a gateway for a child predator, someone who is actively seeking vulnerable children online.
You'd be amazed how easy it can be for a shady character who would be unable to approach a child, contact a child in public. Nowadays, stay in the comfort of their own home, log on to the internet, log on to social media, Facebook or wherever it may be, make contact with the child, find out their interests, their hobbies, align themselves with that child, and gain their trust and contact them, whether it be cell phone or in person, and eventually meet their final goal of meeting this child in person, and that's what we're trying to prevent.
Our numbers as far as online enticement cases, child pornography cases, are dramatically higher than they ever have been in the past, and they continue to rise every day.
Kids these days, 10, 11, 12, 13-year-old kids are getting cell phones, and those cell phones get on the internet, and the bad people are on the internet as well. So that gives these people easy access to these youth, to juveniles. So I mean, there's so many different apps that they can go and get on and just meet these people and start talking to them. And it's so much easier to find someone and find victims.
Federal partnerships unite agencies and U.S. attorneys. Outreach extends to judges and prosecutors who often lack familiarity with this form of illegal activity.
The Internet Crimes Against Children grant was started in order to provide local agencies with training, equipment, anything to help their investigative efforts in the online victimization of children that they may not be able to do on their own.
That task force is made up of state, local, and federal officers from all across the Commonwealth, and they're all united in one mission, and that's to help fight and stop child exploitation online.
One of the biggest allies that law enforcement has is the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. What the National Center has devised is a program called the Cyber Tip Line. In 2011, we received 817 of those tips. In 2012, we received 975. As of September the 1st, we have received 600. So every year, the complaints are increasing.
Nationwide, there are 60 regional ICAC task forces. Every state is covered, and obviously some states have more than one ICAC task force. And it began in 1999, I believe, as a way to provide local law enforcement agencies with resources to better investigate the online victimization of children. Kentucky State Police applied for the Regional Task Force grant in 2000. It was awarded in 2003.
To meet the growing demand of internet crimes against children complaints that we receive, each post is having at least one, if not two, troopers trained to investigate these types of crimes because technology is changing. It changes every week, if not daily. So we try to stay up to date on technology and answer the growing number of complaints. In the future, I mean, we want these people who are online targeting children to know we're going to be in the chat rooms, we're going to be on the social networking sites, and we're going to be looking for you. And we're just a subpoena away from prosecution, and we're coming after you.
The good part is we get to put very bad people in jail. I didn't know until I started working here I didn't know this part of society existed until I started working here. And I have a teenage daughter, and knowing the people that I know in here that are doing this work, I feel much better about her present and her future, knowing that there are these people out there that are taking care of that.
There's nothing more satisfying at this branch than helping a child victim. What a child predator does is they try to alienate the child from their family and friends. And the child is relying on this person for everything, for emotional support, and sometimes physical support, for gifts. There's nothing more satisfying than taking that burden from that child and getting them reunited with their family, getting them some help they need, and above else, taking this case to court, or cases like this to court, and getting a good resolution.
Can more be done? The answer? Parents may be the first line of defense.
And we try to teach parents through our education programs that if you stay involved with your kids, if you know what's going on, then they're less likely to actually engage in those dangerous behaviors. Go on and educate yourself about the social networks that your children are using. There's lots of resources online if you just take the time to want to actually look and see. And educate yourself on how these systems work and how the kids are using them to communicate with other people. If you don't know, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children has a lot of information and tips for parents on how to talk to their kids about technology and the use of technology and using it responsibly.
Basically, you need to set some ground rules. Have the computer in a common room, know your children's passwords on social networking sites, and above all else, we need to communicate and talk to our children. Because if we don't, who will? And the answer to that's very simple. That person is sitting behind a computer, sitting behind a keyboard right now in a social networking site or in a chat room looking for a victim. And that's a scary thought.
And so it really comes down to an open line of communication between the parents and the kids. Children knowing what's appropriate, what's inappropriate, knowing that they can come to their parents and tell them that something inappropriate has happened, and the parents being able to log in, see what's going on their computer, who they're talking to. We tell parents a lot of times, you want to know who your kids are talking to face to face. You wouldn't just let them talk to any stranger on the street, especially about some of the more intimate things in their life. Why would you let them talk to whoever they come across on the internet about more intimate things?